The tech facility hummed with servers and ventilation systems on the midnight shift. Ryan Matthews pushed his maintenance cart down the corridor, checking his watch. 2 more hours until his shift ended, then home to relieve the neighbor watching his 5-year-old daughter, Lily. At 34, Ryan had become an expert at survival. Single father, working nights as a janitor, every dollar stretched to cover rent, childcare, and the mounting bills from his late wife's medical treatments. Sarah had passed away 2 years ago from complications during Lily's birth that had gone undetected until too late. Ryan had been left with a daughter to raise alone and debt that seemed insurmountable. But he kept going because Lily needed him, and love made impossible things possible. Tonight he was assigned to the secure server wing of Davidson Technologies, a defense contractor that developed classified systems. Ryan had the necessary clearance to clean the facility, but strict orders: no touching equipment, no entering locked rooms, report anything unusual immediately. He was wiping down the corridor when he heard it. A faint hissing sound, barely audible over the ambient noise. Ryan stopped, listening. There it was again, coming from the main server room. He approached the reinforced glass door and peered inside. The room was filled with server racks, blinking lights, and cooling systems. Nothing appeared wrong. But that hissing continued, and now Ryan noticed something else. A faint shimmer in the air near one of the server banks. Gas leak. His maintenance training kicked in immediately. Natural gas or coolant leak in a room full of electrical equipment meant potential explosion. But the room was supposed to be empty. Then he saw her. A woman in business attire sat at a workstation deep inside the server room, headphones on, completely absorbed in whatever she was working on. She appeared to be in her 30s, blonde hair pulled back, focused intensely on her screens. She hadn't noticed the leak. Ryan tried the door. Locked, requiring biometric access he didn't have. He pounded on the glass. "Excuse me, ma'am!" She didn't hear him over her headphones and the ambient noise. The hissing was growing louder. Ryan could see the shimmer spreading. Whatever was leaking, it was accelerating. He ran to the security station at the end of the hall where Marcus, the night guard, monitored cameras. "Marcus, there's a gas leak in server room 3. There's a woman inside who doesn't know. We need to get her out now." Marcus looked at his monitors, frowning. "That room is sealed for classified work. Nobody's supposed to be in there after 10. "Well, someone is, and there's a leak. Look at camera 12, you can see the shimmer near the coolant lines." Marcus studied the screen, then reached for his radio. "Let me call my supervisor. Protocol says there's no time for protocol. That leak is getting worse. If it hits the electrical systems, Ryan, I can't just open that room. It requires executive authorization. There are procedures, and that woman will be dead before you finish the procedures." Ryan's voice rose with urgency. "Marcus, please. Call whoever you need to call, but do it now while I try to get her attention." Ryan ran back to the server room door, pounding harder. The woman finally looked up, saw him, and pulled off her headphones with an annoyed expression. She walked to the door, cracking it slightly. "Can I help you?" "I'm in the middle of critical work." The moment the door opened, Ryan smelled it. Coolant mixed with something else. His years of maintenance work told him exactly what he was dealing with. Refrigerant leak from the cooling system. In a sealed room, it would displace oxygen. The woman had been sitting in there for who knew how long, slowly being poisoned. "You need to get out of this room right now," Ryan said urgently. "There's a coolant leak." "It's toxic." The woman's annoyed expression shifted to confusion. "I don't smell anything unusual, because it's displacing the oxygen. You're probably already feeling lightheaded, but attributing it to work fatigue." "Ma'am, I work maintenance." "I know what this is. You need to evacuate immediately." She hesitated, looking back at her workstation. "I'm on a deadline. This defense protocol needs to be, you'll be dead before you finish it. Please, trust me." Something in Ryan's voice must have convinced her because she stepped into the hallway. The moment she did, her legs buckled. Ryan caught her as she collapsed, her weight suddenly against him. "Marcus!" Ryan shouted. "Call emergency services now. She's been poisoned by the leak." Marcus appeared, finally understanding the severity. "Oh God, I'll call it in." "Get her to fresh air." Ryan half-carried, half-dragged the woman down the corridor away from the leaking room. She was conscious but disoriented, her breathing shallow. Stay with me, Ryan said, easing her to the floor in a safe area. Just breathe. Slow, steady breaths. My work, she mumbled. The files I need, your work can wait. Your life can't. Marcus reappeared with his supervisor, a man named Gerald who looked both concerned and angry. What the hell is going on here? Ryan, you're not authorized to touch executive personnel. She was dying in a room with a gas leak, Ryan said sharply. Someone want to explain why a room with a known coolant problem had someone working in it with the door sealed? What coolant problem? Gerald demanded. The one I reported 3 times in the past 2 weeks, Ryan said, his voice hardening. I documented shimmer near the coolant lines in server 3, recommended immediate inspection. I submitted work orders that were marked deferred for budget review. Gerald's face went pale. The paramedics arrived, treating the woman for refrigerant exposure. She'd been in that room for 4 hours, they said. Another 30 minutes and she might have lost consciousness permanently. Possible brain damage from oxygen deprivation. She was lucky. As they loaded her into the ambulance, she caught Ryan's hand. You saved my life, she whispered. Thank you. Just doing what anyone would do, Ryan replied. No, she said with surprising strength. Most people would have followed protocol. Waited for authorization. By then I'd be dead. You ignored the rules to save me. Thank you. Ryan watched the ambulance leave, then turned to face Gerald and several other supervisors who'd arrived. Ryan, we need to discuss your actions tonight, Gerald began. My actions? You mean saving someone's life? You violated security protocols. You touched executive personnel without authorization. You caused a disruption in classified work. I prevented a death, Ryan interrupted. A death that would have happened because maintenance requests I submitted were ignored for budget reasons. You want to fire me for that? Go ahead. But you better believe I'll be talking to every safety regulator and lawyer I can find about why a known hazard was left unrepaired. Gerald looked uncomfortable. Nobody's talking about firing anyone. But there will need to be an investigation. You're suspended pending review. Fine, Ryan said tiredly. I need to get home to my daughter anyway. 3 days later, Ryan received a call from an unknown number. Mr. Matthews? This is Amanda Foster. I'm the woman you saved from the server room. Ryan sat up straighter. Ms. Foster, how are you feeling? Recovered thanks to you. I spent 2 days in the hospital, but I'm fine now. They said I was very lucky. She paused. I need to see you. Can we meet? They met at a coffee shop near Ryan's apartment. Amanda looked healthy but tired, and she carried a folder of documents. First, I owe you an apology, she said. I should have listened when you first tried to warn me. I was so focused on my deadline that I dismissed you. That arrogance nearly killed me. You didn't know there was a leak, Ryan said. But you did. You'd reported it multiple times and been ignored. Amanda's expression hardened. I spent the last 2 days investigating what happened. I'm Chief Technology Officer of Davidson Technologies. The server room where I nearly died? That's my project. My responsibility. She opened the folder. Your maintenance reports. 3 separate submissions about irregularities in the cooling system for server room 3, all marked deferred by facility management. They chose to save money rather than address a potential hazard. Doesn't surprise me, Ryan said bitterly. Budget always comes before people in places like that. Not anymore. As of this morning, I've implemented new protocols. Every maintenance report flagged as safety critical goes directly to me for review. No more deferrals for budget. And the facility manager who ignored your reports? He's been terminated. You didn't have to do that for me, Ryan said. I didn't do it for you. I did it because it's right. Because you were right, and you were ignored, and that's inexcusable. Amanda leaned forward. But I do want to do something for you. I investigated why you're working as a night janitor despite having technical certifications in HVAC, electrical systems, and building maintenance. Ryan stiffened. That's personal. I know about your wife. About the medical debt. About your daughter. Amanda's voice softened. I know you're working nights because day shifts don't pay enough, and you're supporting a 5-year-old alone. Ryan, you have skills that are being wasted pushing a mop. It's honest work that pays the bills, Ryan said defensively. It is, but you could be doing so much more. I want to offer you a position as Facility Safety Manager for Davidson Technologies. You'd oversee maintenance and safety protocols for all our buildings. Salary is $85,000 per year, full benefits, day shifts, and flexible hours for family needs. Ryan stared at her. You're offering me a management position? I'm offering you recognition for what you already are. Someone who sees problems, reports them, and acts when lives are at stake. Those are exactly the qualities I need in someone overseeing safety. Ms. Foster, Amanda. And before you refuse, consider this. You saved my life by ignoring orders and doing what was right. Don't you think you owe it to yourself to accept help when it's offered? Let someone save you for a change. Ryan felt tears sting his eyes. I have a 5-year-old daughter. My late wife's medical bills. Debt collectors calling daily. I've been surviving, not living, for 2 years. I can't, his voice broke. I can't accept charity. It's not charity. It's an employment offer based on merit and skills. You're qualified, you're needed, and frankly, after nearly dying, I've learned that life's too short to let pride stand in the way of opportunity. Amanda smiled gently. Your daughter deserves a father who comes home during daylight. You deserve a chance to rebuild your life. Let me help make that happen. Ryan took the job. 6 months later, he stood in his new office overlooking the facility, reviewing safety reports that now actually got read and acted upon. His daughter Lily played in the corner with toys, visiting Dad at work like she used to dream about. Amanda stopped by with coffee. How's it going? I prevented 3 potential accidents this month because people are actually reporting issues now, Ryan said. The new culture of safety you've created, it's working. We created it, Amanda corrected. You showed me that doing the right thing matters more than following convenient procedures. That's changed how I approach everything. She looked out the window at the facility below. I could have died in that server room. Instead, I'm alive because a janitor cared more about human life than about keeping his job. That's heroism, Ryan, real heroism. I just did what needed doing, Ryan said. Exactly, and that's why you're perfect for this job. Because you'll always do what needs doing regardless of politics or convenience. She smiled. Thank you for saving my life. And thank you for teaching me what leadership actually looks like. 2 years after that night, Ryan had eliminated debt, moved into a better apartment, and watched Lily thrive with a father who was present and engaged. Amanda became not just his boss, but his friend. Someone who'd looked past job titles to see character. On the anniversary of the incident, they stood together looking at the server room where it had all happened, now equipped with state-of-the-art safety systems. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if you'd followed Gerald's orders, Amanda said quietly. If you'd waited for authorization, you'd have died, Ryan said simply. And I'd have spent the rest of my life knowing I could have prevented it. Instead, you saved a life and changed 2 families, Amanda replied. Mine and yours. That's the power of doing what's right, even when it's hard. Ryan thought about Lily at home, happy and secure, about the life they were building, free from the crushing weight of survival mode, about second chances that arrive in the most unexpected ways. Thank you for seeing past the uniform, he said, for seeing who I actually was. Thank you for ignoring the guard's orders, Amanda replied. For being the only one who could save me. Not because of authority or title, but because you cared enough to act. Because sometimes the person in the janitor's uniform is the real hero. Sometimes following rules costs lives that breaking them saves. And sometimes the greatest act of courage is simply doing what's right when everyone else is waiting for permission. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales about everyday heroism and the courage to act when it matters most. Comment below about someone who broke the rules to save you. True heroes don't always wear capes.